Hi, parents, students, teachers. We are back with another writing session. This time, we are going to look at a narrative descriptive writing. I have a few things to share with you before we begin the narrative descriptive writing. Now, narrative means that you are putting yourself in the writing. Descriptive means that you will be describing some events, things in the writing. Our narrative descriptive will change slightly from our expository or our persuasive. So let's pay attention and see how we are going to write a narrative descriptive essay. First, you, the learner, will use your graphic organizer as always. You will be brainstorming your topic sentence as well as ideas for your paragraphs. You are going to use your transitional words. Yes, we will be using them, as well as figurative language in your writing. And then we will be writing the 5-paragraph essay. Now, for narrative descriptive, in the middle, you will have your topic sentence as usual. So let's look at the middle here. Here's our topic sentence. And around our topic sentence, we have our other 4 squares where we have our topic for each of our paragraphs. And today's writing is talking about the hurricane. And look at our topic sentence. Do you know what I experienced during the storm? And we have prepare for the hurricane, things we did as the storm passed, after the storm passed, and then remember what we will do for our final paragraph. So let's get started. Now, in our middle square, we will look at sentences. When did this event happen? Where did this happen? And sometimes you will include why did it happen? And so that will be for your narrative descriptive essay. We also are going to brainstorm ideas for each of our paragraphs. Let's look at our first reason, preparing for the storm. Now, how do we prepare? The writer brainstorm water, canned food, lamps, battery, wood, DVD player, first aid kit, radio. And then for things we need as the storm passes, play games, sleep, eat, watch DVD. And after the storm passed, clean up, went outside, fallen trees. And then our last paragraph, we're going to give a big ending. Went for food, house, restaurant, stores make our food. Always remember, you will need your transitional words. So look at the 4 squares to the right as well as to the left where we have our transitional words. Remember, we use them to make our sentences or our paragraph flow smoothly. And before we go on, I want us to look at our topic sentence. Do you recall what type of sentence that is? Yes. It's an interrogative sentence. It asks a question and it ends with a question mark. Excellent. Now that we have our transitional words in, there are two squares on the right as well as two squares on the left. And our transitional words are nicely placed in them. What we are going to do now is to add our figurative language. Yes, we have for one of our square, long like anaconda snake. Another square has loud as thunder. And then the third one has look like Lake Nancy. Now, I want us to pay special attention to our fifth paragraph. When we are writing a narrative, we don't really have a closing. So, what we do have is a big idea or big ending. Okay? So, we're going to make our story end in a dramatic or an interesting way. So here we have some ideas for our big ending. Went to Burger King, houses, restaurants, and stores damage make our food. Also, we will include our topic sentence or part of our topic sentence. Okay? So remember that we have a big ending for our fifth paragraph in a descriptive narrative essay or for a narrative essay. Now, let's look at our first. Do you know what I experienced during the storm? It was in 2013 when the hurricane hit the island of Grand Bahama. I was with my family and friends at home. To start, my family and I began putting up boards on our windows because we heard on the radio that a storm was coming in a day and 3 hours. As soon as I heard, I rushed to tell my mother. We immediately went to the store to buy some canned goods and water. When we arrived at the store, I saw 24 cans of spaghetti on the shelf, and I immediately showed them to her. We bought other items that we needed to eat. When we went to the cashier's line, it was long like an anaconda snake. After being served, we went to another store and bought lamp, batteries, and things for the first aid kit. We had to join another long line at this store. Our last stop was to get water. Again, we had to go on a long line. However, we got what we needed for the hurricane. Now, I would like for you to notice the words that are highlighted in blue. Those words are verbs and verbs in the past. When we are writing narrative, more often we are writing in the past. So, boys and girls, teachers, parents often have your chart with your verbs, verbs in the present, verbs in the past, your transitional words, as well as figurative language. It is good to have the chart laminated and use it as often as you can. Shortly after we arrived home, it was now getting dark. We could not go outside, so my brother and I decided to play a video game called Crush. I beat my brother's high score. Suddenly, there was a big thunder with the sound as loud as a crying elephant. We were all frightened, and so we huddled together. However, we became bored, so we all started doing puzzles. My grandmother was the first to finish. After a while, we all went to sleep. It was about an hour later when we awoke. We then got something to eat and we watched a few movies on our DVD player. The following morning, the storm was over. We waited by the radio to hear the announcer say that it was okay to go outside. It seems as they were taking forever. How, after waiting about an hour and a half, it was announced that the storm was over. We immediately opened the door and went outside. However, we were greeted with water everywhere. It looked like Lake Nancy. Also, we were all sad because we had to clean up the dirt from house roofs and the fallen trees that were in our yard. We saw that electrical pole wires hanging and some shingles from our roof were missing. We then began clearing and cleaning. We did this for 3 days before our area was looking like it used to. Later, on the third day, we made plans to go to Burger King to get something to eat. But when we went outside, we saw that the stores, the restaurants, and many houses were damaged. We were all disappointed because all of our canned food were gone. So we went home and made our food from food that was left in the refrigerator. We cooked some eggs and made a great meal. I was happy and relieved that the storm was over. Now you know what I experienced during the storm. Boys and girls, that was the first draft of our narrative descriptive essay. Remember what we did. First, we used our graphic organizer and we brainstorm our ideas and our topic sentence. We wrote our transitional words. We wrote our figurative language. And then we wrote our first draft. Remember the first draft, we can always go back and edit and make changes. Remember, boys and girls, when you're writing, ensure that your sentences begin with capital letters and end with a punctuation mark. Always go and edit your writing. Thank you, parents, boys and girls, teachers, for another wonderful session on writing, teaching young children to write creatively.